Welcome to Zombie Popcorn Show number 8. It is January 30th, 2010, and you are listening to Zombie Popcorn Radio. This is Jason.
This is Paul.
Paul is with us via Skype because we have a snowstorm. But if you want to call in, please give us a call at 757-337-2195. Again, that's 757-337-2195. And welcome to Zombie Popcorn Radio.
And it is show 18.
Yep, 18. We're moving right along on this. So if you're watching in 3D, hello 3D Movie Man, you're only going to see me on the screen this night. It's just me, sadly. As everyone knows, last week was Josh's last night for Zombie Popcorn, just temporary. I can't even talk. He's gone temporarily. He's actually on the road driving to his new state, his new home. So we might actually give him a call tonight. We told him we might. I just hope the roads are not bad where he is, because if you're not aware, here in Virginia, we got a rather nice snowstorm. We probably got, how many inches do you think?
I don't know, maybe 6-7 inches.
Yeah. And me being from Texas, I'm not used to snow, but I've traveled enough to know how to accommodate myself in it. But I find that most people around here don't. I didn't even see a snow plow hit the road until it was probably around 4 o'clock today.
Yeah, well, we don't. I mean, Virginia doesn't get a lot of snow in this part since we're right on the coast. All the salt water in the air, all the salt in the air kind of keeps it from ever getting that cold and sticky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's usually a big deal when it snows here because maybe once or twice a year, if that, is. I mean, I don't think we've had a snow this big for a couple of years.
It has. I've been here for 6 years now, a little bit longer actually, and this is the first time I've actually even seen it snow. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the room. 3D Movie Man said they got 7 to 8 inches there. I'm not sure where he's at. Where are you at, 3D Movie Man? So since I'm the only one on, I'm just gonna start playing with 3D gimmicky stuff on my camera. He's in Missouri, and he got 7 to 8 inches of snow there. So, and Eric, also in the chat room, says it's very sunny but cloudy in Miami, Florida.
Nice.
So it's good. It's good. Yeah, it was crazy. We were just out in it all day today, pretty much. And everything was closed today,
except for where you were.
Yeah, which I didn't mind. I mean, that was easy money to do.
yeah, just kind of go and hang out.
That's what we did. We had a disco ball going, just hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm holding up a zombie in 3D right now.
My big trip of the day was walking to the grocery store instead of driving, and especially since I was like, oh man, I can wear these boots and this hat, and I got excited, like thinking about what I remember from Man vs. Wild, even though it's only like a 5-minute walk. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go across it, and within 45 seconds, I was like, Jesus Christ, I regret this. My face is all numb, but it was fun. I needed soda, so I brought 4 liters back so that I'll make it till Monday morning. And
you just stocked up.
Yeah, pretty much. I was kind of getting the shakes. Janet's looking at me, going, Jesus. So
me and Miley walked up to Ken's Walk and just ate. We just hung out.
Wow, from where you live?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's what we did all day. We were just out. Yeah. I mean, anyway, if you're not in the snow, that's what's happening in these parts. If you're in the sun, I enjoy it. I had fun with it. I didn't think it was that cold, but
the snow wasn't too bad. It was the wind blowing the snow in my face that was
That was a thing when the snow turned to ice, because later in the day it just stopped snowing and just was dumping ice on us. It was like needles going into the eyeballs.
Yeah. And then when I was in the supermarket, since here where we live in this part of Virginia, it's called Hampton Roads, and it's the world's largest. Norfolk is home to the world's largest naval base, and it's basically the military capital of the world.
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
the majority of people who live here aren't originally from here, and every time it snows, you get to hear people while you like stand in the grocery line talking about how stupid Virginians are. I saw this guy and he spun out, and fucking Virginians don't know how to drive. I mean, I've been hearing it since I was in elementary school. Every kid, there's always a couple kids in your classes that are like, "I hate Virginia," and yeah, apparently no one in this state knows how to drive, but everyone in every other state is a perfect driver.
I've driven in almost every state, and I kind of have to agree with people in Virginia suck.
See, I've driven in a good chunk. I've driven across the country quite a few times, and I've found that they suck everywhere.
Well, they just suck more in places, and I think Virginia, they definitely, or at least in this area, they suck more than anywhere else.
I don't know.
I don't know. This we're
We're getting into our regional argument.
we always do
Traffic
this.
and barbecue doing it.
Forget horror movies. We're gonna talk about why Virginia sucks.
Cook-offs.
Anyway, let's move on this one. So
Hate on my own stuff.
I want to talk about a movie I haven't seen yet, but I do want to see it, and it's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray February 12th, and that's The House of the Devil. I think we talk about this movie as much as we talked about Avatar, because it's just, I think personally, so awesome. I want to play the trailer real quick, just because, I mean, it's just so good. I mean, just the way they took the old 80s feel and look to it, and the sound and everything. So I'm going to play the trailer real quick and we can talk about it.
Who is this again? Because you cut out.
Oh, House of the Devil.
All right.
All right. Or not.
It's a real top-notch thing we gotta go.
Yeah. Here we go.
I love it. It's perfect. About the deposit, I'll agree to waive all the deposit stuff. You just give me the first month's down, we'll call it a day, all right? It's hard coming up with all that money, isn't it? It's gonna work out.
You're not the one with $84 in her bank account and I checked her right on Monday.
You know what you should do? Hi. I'm calling in regards to the babysitter flyer posted outside my dorm.
Tonight's big eclipse is now well underway.
I feel a little weird just dropping you out here in the middle of wherever we are.
You have to forgive me, Samantha, because I've not been completely honest.
We're from the desert, you know.
You see, we actually don't have a child.
They lied to you.
I know.
They're liars.
Okay, I know you're right. But it's $400. This equals first month's rent and then some, and all I have to do is sit inside and watch TV. This is huge. This one night changes everything for me.
Here we go.
Are you not the babysitter?
Oh my god!
Talk to me, Lord. Talk to me.
The House of the Devil. I think that movie's awesome, and I haven't even seen it yet.
That's cool. So what's the basic premise? Because normally when we view trailers, I'm sitting there and watching it, and I always wonder what it's like for the listeners.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I didn't get anything from that. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, Jan asked if you could see it if you were on the website.
Oh, I didn't play it for the audience.
No, it was just being done on it.
Yeah, I was just doing the audio. No, but pretty much it's just about this one girl who needs money, and these people put out an ad looking for a babysitter, and she responds to it when she gets there. She's like, "Look, we really don't have a babysitter," but the trailer doesn't tell why.
Right.
But there's some kind of possession or demon or something in the house, and that's the part we don't know about. We have to see the movie to find out.
Right.
So
And this is the one that has the cool ordering thing.
yeah,
The VHS you can get.
yep. You get the DVD and the VHS. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I'm excited about it. The chat room's buzzing about 3D talk, of course, because there's two other 3D nerds. Not,
Right. It's just like a. No one's even listening.
yeah, no, they're actually talking about the Clash of the Titans remake into 3D.
I didn't think they were doing it in 3D.
Well, they're going back and forth about it. They're arguing so much about, not the people in the chat room, but the companies involved. They say they're going to do it, and they say they don't have time to do it because they want to get this film out, and then it's just so much round and around. And I think they're torn because they want the money that the converting it into 3D will bring them, but I think they really are on such a tight schedule that.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to have to be in 3D because I think it's going to flop if it's not. Because it's just another 300.
Yeah. With well, no, yeah. I guess it is.
I mean,
Yeah, only it's not, but I guess, yeah.
I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Maybe we should take the original and make that 3D.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing to do. If you have a crappy movie, throw 3D on it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what worked for Final Destination.
I think that's what made it die out the first time. Because everyone was like, it's a shitty movie. Let's make it 3D. And then there's nothing but shitty movies coming out in 3D.
Well, I mean, anybody who's collected and obsessed with 3D, I'm sure Eric and 3D Movie Man can vouch for this, is we've had our fair share. We've watched our fair share of crappy 3D movies. So having newer ones is not going to break our heart.
Right.
But speaking of 3D, they are talking about bringing you remember the old movie Dune?
Yeah.
They're actually talking about doing a re-imaging or revisit of Dune, but doing it in 3D. So,
With the word re-imaging.
what's up with that word?
Yeah. It's essentially remake.
Yeah, it really is. I think.
It's like sanitary engineer instead of.
Yeah, it's the buzzword to make you
Yeah.
where you think, oh, it's not a remake, it's a re-imaging. Yeah.
It's like synergy.
Yeah.
You just throw it around all the time. There's a lot of synergy in this reimagination.
Yeah, and 3D Movie Man just said you have to be. He goes, I think you have to love bad movies if you're a fan of 3D, which is so true. And that's, I think it's about to change. I think with Tron coming out, with Avatar that just recently came out, Alice in Wonderland coming up, I think we're at that turning point where we're actually finally getting really solid 3D movies.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just a handful of solid.
Yeah, I mean Dune. I love Dune. When I was younger, and the fact that they're redoing it, I don't have a problem with that because, I mean,
Yeah, it's a really great book too.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There's so much to that story that hasn't been told yet.
Yeah.
That
They did it. Well, I don't know but there was a sci-fi version from the Sci-Fi Channel of Dune.
Yeah.
That was like a week-long deal. That was pretty good.
and there was a video game that was supposed to be a continuation of the story. which was all right. I mean, back in the time,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I think the author's son carries it on and writes the stories now.
What's that?
The guy that wrote Dune, what's his name? Like Frank Hubbard.
Yeah.
His son has taken over the Dune franchise.
Oh, so I mean, then somebody who has invested interest to keep it.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'll be in the theater to see that. I loved how it's an epic story, but not an epic. It's not epic in terms of a movie. It's just it's almost like a real, almost thinker type.
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm working on music for the ambient thing, the floor
Yeah.
project, Dune is actually my how I envision everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that way I don't feel too new agey for throwing all these world sounds in, and I try and put some futuristic glitchy stuff in there as well, and that's why I've always loved Dune, because the race of people on the planet are kind of almost third world-ish, but I mean their religion is still technology based. They have to wear these suits, and so it's like a really neat hybrid.
Yeah.
And I've always just dug Dune.
The guys in the chat room are talking about Coming at You in 3D. Just want to remind everybody, February 13th, 2010, we will have the writer, director, and star of Coming at You 3D on Zombie Popcorn Radio. We'll be talking to him live. Producer as well, yes. So if you're in the chat room and you're watching them talk about Coming at You.
He was also part of the PA and craft services.
Yeah. He did it all. It's actually really it's really impressive of all the stuff Tony Anthony has done.
Yeah.
Especially if you just look at Coming at You alone, but I don't want to go too much into that because we are going to have him on the show, and I want to save it for that. But another film that's going to be re-imaged or whatever is Gremlins. And I really hope they stay true to the story, to Gremlins, not to the one that we saw, with Gizmo and Spike and all that, or Stripe or whatever his name was.
That's right. We were watching a documentary talking about that not that long ago.
Yeah, they're saying it was supposed to be a really gory film in terms where
with heads and
yeah. And I hope they do that, because it's about time we took the Gremlins a little underground.
Damn you, Spielberg!
Damn you!
With your wholesome suburban stuff.
Always running it for the children.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, that would be cool.
I think it's funny though that
microwave scene would be fun to see.
Yeah, that would actually be awesome.
And the thing that scared me the most about that movie was the old lady when I was a kid.
The old lady?
Yeah, isn't there an old lady she's got the chair that goes up the stairs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, she just terrified me.
Weird.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know, Betty Davis. When she was older, I was scared to death of her too. I don't know what that says about. Yeah, Watch Her in the Woods and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which I haven't seen, but it's on our Netflix now.
Miley says it's really scary.
What trauma happened to me with some elder woman, but terrified of films.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, we also have other news that is pretty awesome. Paul Casper, which everybody knows from Zombie Popcorn Radio, which we're talking to right now, wrote his first post for Zombie Popcorn. I was very impressed with it. I was shocked too to see it. So, you want to talk about that?
My ass, or that I just ran it through spell check.
What's that?
What were you so shocked about? That I actually did it, or just that I ran it through spell check?
That you can actually write. No, I'm just kidding.
I had use one of those fat pencils and then have Jet type it in.
You had to fax it in
Yeah,
with a pager.
yeah. You paged me, then I put it on the modem on top of the computer.
So you want to talk about it? You want to do your verbal review?
Hi guys. I mean, it's up there.
You're such a self-promoter. Woo!
Yeah, it's for Brain from Planet Eros, which is just a great movie. Let me see here. I'll bring it up because I can't remember anything I wrote. I mean, I can read it word for word, but really,
Well, really? I mean, you wrote it.
yeah. It's basically it's a movie about.
That's Paul, not Josh. Go ahead.
What? No. It is a movie. This is great. I'm bringing the screen up, and I'm trying to have it not to block the Skype box because I'm like, oh wait, I don't want to block the sound, and then.
But that's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a sound guy.
I know. It's fun.
You're fired. You just...
Seriously. So, yeah, it's Brain from Planet Eros. It's a movie made in 1958. Stars John Edgar and Joyce Meadows. Basically, two aliens have crashed in the desert on Mystery Mountain, which I just love the name.
Because it's a mystery. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. Steve, of course, is he's the main character, is a nuclear scientist because everybody in the good 50s sci-fi movies are scientists. Yeah, so of course he's got to go see what's going on, and turns out they're two giant brains from outer space that float around and make crazy sound effects. And
Hold on. I'm sorry. We're being interrupted by somebody rude.
Hey, you fucking zombie popcorn guys are stupid.
Really? Guess who's just called us from the road? Apparently he's driving because there's so much static. Josh is now on the phone.
who knows the
Hey,
ants
hey, what's going on, man? Hey, is this zombie popcorn radio?
You're on Zombie Popcorn Radio. What are you doing, Josh?
I just want to call and tell you guys, you're stupid.
Awesome. Where you at?
I'm in South Carolina.
Woo!
I should be in Georgia.
How's the weather? What the snow and all that crap?
Oh, the weather's great in South Carolina. The weather sucks ass in Norfolk, Virginia.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we left there at like 11:30 this morning, and we didn't get to I-95 until like 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Wow. So you're just driving like 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. Like, I thought I was going to have to pull off the side of the road and just sit it out. I mean, I was scared to death driving.
Wow. That's
But
crazy.
I muscled through it.
Awesome. How many more hours do you got?
What's that?
How many more hours do you have?
I honestly don't know. We're supposed to stop in Brunswick, Georgia, and have a hotel there, but I'm in South Carolina, and it takes a long time to drive from South Carolina to Georgia.
You just need to stop at south of the border then and get a room.
I already asked it. That place is like a freaking... It's like Disney World on crack or something.
That's awesome.
You can like see the lights from 50 miles away.
Yep.
There's a joint cheaper than
So-
it's on there.
What's that?
Yeah, I didn't stop at south of the border. I probably never will.
Oh yeah.
That's sad. So,
Hello?
Paul was giving us his review of his movie when you called.
Do what?
I said Paul was giving us his review of his movie.
What movie did he see?
The one he wrote a post about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't read the post.
I don't think he heard you, so he's mad that you interrupted his thing.
I'm sorry, Paul. Yeah, you're more than welcome to proceed. I'll listen. I'm pretty much just, I'm calling because I'm bored as shit, so I figured I'd call and talk on zombie popcorn.
Crazy. All right, so you want to finish, Paul?
Yeah, sure. It's a good movie. Read the post. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
My thunder was stolen. How can I compete with that?
Oh, he's really sad.
Now, yeah, so Steve, of course, ends up possessed by evil brain, and he becomes all pushy on Sally, and I don't know, I think there's like 3 or 4 cookouts in this movie. Every time you see Sally, she's like grilling hamburgers outside with her dad, which is just pretty awesome. And yeah, read the post, people.
Do it.
It'll explain the movie.
But we have to announce that Paul has taken it upon himself to give Zombie Popcorn a rating system.
Oh yeah. And the brain from Planet Eris got the highest zombie popcorn rating we can think of, which is a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper.
Woo!
6 Dr. Peppers.
Actually, I'm lying. I did read the post, and I thought that was hilarious.
Did you?
Why didn't I think of that?
I don't know.
I figure if the movie is
What
really
did
bad,
you think of that, Jason?
The 3D Movie Man says, "Wow, 6 Dr. DPs." But Eric wants to know, ask Josh, has he seen The Fiend Without a Face?
The what?
The Fiend Without a Face.
No.
No, he hasn't, Eric. It's an ongoing thing. I'm sorry. Anyway. So are you driving or is your wife driving?
I'm driving the big ass truck that we load all of our stuff in.
Oh, that's right. She went separate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's probably still in Virginia for all I know.
Just hanging out, playing in the snow. I did see a new snowman in front of your old place too, so kind of looked like something she did.
Yeah, there's a bunch of kids that live there that decided to go out and make a snowman this morning.
You have a lot of noise on your phone.
Me?
Yep,
It's probably the driving noise.
probably.
How's that? Is that better?
No, I didn't change anything. It's all good. So, since we have you on the phone and you claim that you came from the family of rednecks and stuff, I want to talk about this next subject with since we have you on the phone. Does everybody remember the movie Joe Dirt?
Yes.
Joe Dierte.
Yep. Well, they are making an animated feature or animated series of Joe Dirt.
Is that a fact?
Joe Dirt is up there with, I think I talked about my other guilty pleasure last week, which was
The best part of Joe Dirt was Christopher
Who's
Walken.
Most Wanted. I think maybe Joe Dirt is number 2.
You think Joe Dirt is number 2?
Yeah, of my guilty pleasures. Number 1 being Malibu's Most Wanted. Making Joe Dirt be number 2.
I'm still shocked that you're into Malibu's Most Wanted.
Dude, you know, and I hate everything else that guy's ever done. That movie is just so bad. I love it. I don't know why.
That's funny.
That's why it's shameful when I talk about it.
Insane. So you gonna hang out with us the rest of the show, Josh, or you just poking now?
I can barely hear what Paul's saying, and if my phone's giving a lot of noise, then I'm not going to ruin the radio. Wait a minute. This is Zombie Popcorn. What the hell am I going to ruin?
He said a little too late.
This thing's been taken
But no,
from
I probably shouldn't be talking on the phone and driving in the dark. So.
Well, I mean, we're not encouraging kids to do so. No.
Do what?
We're not encouraging people to do so. No.
Nah.
It's
And your
bad.
phone's breaking up a little bit, too. I can hear about half of what you
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we'll let you go.
Well, tell 3D Movie Man that I stopped in for the show so he can be happy now.
I think he heard you. He said, "Tell Josh to drive safe."
Have a good show, and I will be reporting from Florida soon.
All right, cool. Look forward to it.
All right, take it easy.
Later.
Later.
All right. Josh called in. We didn't have to call him. Awesome. Awesome. So,
Dedication.
what's that?
That's dedication.
That is dedication. Yeah, he started. People in the chat room are asking, did he start driving today? Yeah, he said that he left early this morning, and it's just taking him a long time because of the snow and everything.
Yeah,
He's
it
still on the
certainly
road.
takes like an hour and a half to get to 95, but in the snow, it's gotta suck.
Yeah, and he's driving that big ass moving truck.
Mm.
It's crazy, crazy. But anyway, you want to talk about your dark ambient? We tried it last week and we couldn't find it, and I know you found it this week.
Yeah. We were talking about, well, there's so many different styles of ambient music, and then there's, it's like anything else. There's like a subgenre of a subgenre of a subgenre. And so there's the ambient music, and there's all different kinds, and there's dark ambient. People give it tons of different names. But then I stumbled upon...
It's just easy if you just call it all crap. I mean.
Yeah. I stumbled upon, like, this guy on YouTube that had these posts of different styles of dark ambient. And some of it was really good. Some of it I was familiar with. But this one, I was not familiar with at all. And it's like, I think they called it black ambient. I guess it's like people that are in the black metal scene doing it. Which is cool if you're into that, but I don't know. This was just the weirdest, saddest sounding thing I'd ever heard. So I sent you the video. I think there's 2 tracks on there, but it's really just the first one.
Are we really going to make it through the one? I tried.
No, I don't think we're gonna make it through the whole thing. What I find amazing is that it's got like 15,000 hits.
Yeah. Let's try it. Here it is.
And we're like, oh, this is great. And I just don't get it.
It sounds like my stomach when I wake up in the morning.
Oh my god.
How long does it... Eric says he likes it.
He should paint his face white, like
Oh, yeah.
put your gauntlets on your arms.
Josh is calling back. Hold on. What up, Josh?
I remember what I was calling about.
All right, hold on. We'll play. What are you calling about?
You probably already talked about this since you're such a 3D nerd, but did you hear that they're doing Clash of the Titans 3D?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
I saw that today. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, we talked about that, and we talked about Dune 3D, Gremlins 3D, and...
Like, was Josh in the original version?
Wait, yeah, he watched it a couple weeks ago. Did you hear Miley?
What?
She goes, has he seen the original Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, I watched it. It sucked.
Just do a what?
I knew that was going to make some people.
Go try your state that looks like a limp dip.
I have no idea what you're saying.
It's best that you did.
Get out, Josh.
You've been kicked out and you're not even here, Josh.
Yep. That's what I was shooting for.
What's that?
I said that's what I was going for.
I thought you said you're just shooting whores. It's like, what? Anyway.
Anyway, I saw an ad in a magazine for the new 3D TV.
3D. It's just me on TV.
Do what?
It's just me. Paul's calling in on Skype. Oh, and he got his his stylophone back.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask if he ever got his new one.
Yeah, he got it.
Okay, well, that's what I was calling for. I'll probably call back in another 5 minutes trying to think of something else.
Okay.
Okay. This is a popcorn radio.
Later.
Later.
He must be really bored driving by himself.
He's gonna call back. You're gonna get it. He's gonna start texting you while he's driving this giant.
He's gonna fly off the road while he's talking to us, and we're gonna have his death on the radio. Why didn't he have a 3D camera in that truck?
Yeah.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
Black Ambient.
Oh, Black Ambient. Let me put the wonderful song we were listening to back on.
Now, see, I shouldn't be too mean because I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't like half the shit I do.
Whoa, what is that?
It's going.
But see, that can't be Ambient. They have guitars.
I know.
Eric in the chat room is blur. I think he's starting his own band now.
Back in there and just kind of growl on the microphone.
It just didn't it just be gothic punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful.
Man, see, I don't know, Eric. I don't know if the new Gremlins movie is going to be gory. I hope it is. And we were just talking about that. But it's crazy. I really hope so. What? Oh, you want to talk part 3? I don't know if it's going to be a remake or if it's going to be a continuation of this series. I haven't read that much about it yet. Talking about Gremlins in 3D. I think what I've read so far is it's talking about it's going to be. Hold on, somebody's calling the hotline now.
TerrorDrome.
Yeah, I'll do that
To
too.
accept, press 1. To send a voice message, 2.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I'll do that. To accept, press 1.
Zombie Popcorn Radio. What?
I can't hear you. There's a delay of some sort.
There we go. I got you now.
It's Eric. It's Eric.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Okay, hello? Are we talking real time now?
Yeah, we're talking. We should be.
Oh, okay. It's just the thing is, I got the screen in front of me, and my voice is like 10 seconds behind. It's surreal.
Oh, cause there's the delay from our to the broadcast time.
Turn down your.
Oh, I see. Well, no, what I wanted to talk about was because I think I did during the week. I was listening in on some of the other shows that you had, and one other one at least, and you mentioned the Disney Channel, I think, in passing. And today a bunch of mentioned, I think, The Watcher in the Woods and Tron and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, man, whatever happened to the Disney Channel? There was a time between, I think, the late '80s and mid to late '90s. Like, Disney Channel was actually kind of good. It was actually pretty good. It showed a bunch of stuff that they would never show today. Like, I remember one Halloween sitting and watching Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yeah, which is a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something, they would show anything that they had in their catalog, which is almost 100 years of stuff. You got that. You got the other '80s movies that they did when they tried to cash in on adult fare, even though nobody went to go see them because it had a PG rating slapped on it. But
Yeah.
They showed Tron. They showed everything. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, like, the Disney Channel has sunk so low, and I can't imagine anybody over there even suggesting to put that on. Like, I'm sitting and I'm thinking that somebody tells them, hey, why don't we put Something Wicked This Way Comes? It's the middle of October. They'd probably fire them on the spot. Because now
It's true.
come on.
The first time I seen Something Wicked was I was a freshman. Maybe I was 6th grade. I was in one of the lower grades of school, and it was a requirement in our English class to watch that. And
Yeah.
you could never get that into a classroom now.
Yeah.
No, never. And it's a PG-rated movie. It's a pretty heavy movie, and there's a bit of violence in there.
Yeah.
That today would probably at least get a PG-13. I remember Jason Robards' hand being crushed and broken by I forget the villain's name. He's a really cool character. Whoever plays him, I forget. But the movie is actually better than the book. The book is a rambling mess of nothing. Whereas the movie actually has a theme. You know, it's got the theme of an old man coming to terms with him getting older, and also the kids. You know, it's kind of a coming of age story as well. But it's a pretty heavy film, and you know they never show them on the Disney Channel anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing but popcorn garbage from them with you know, Hannah Banana and all that crap. You know, it all started with Shia LaBeouf and that Hilary Duff character, you know, with their stupid shows. And the thing that I miss most, I think, is Vault Disney, something called Vault Disney, where they would show it around 11 o'clock. They put all their output from the 50s, at least their television shows, which was good television. You know, there was some schmaltzy stuff like you know, Walt Disney's The Wonderful World of Color that I'd never watch. If I did, I'd probably slip my wrist. But no, they had Zorro. You know, they had Davy Crockett, which is a pretty good show, and they had the Scarecrow one. What's it called? Dr. Sin.
Yeah.
With Patrick McGowan. All that stuff was so awesome. And I mean, Zorro is like, to me, one of the best television shows of all time, at least. And today you don't get any of that. And it's like, is there any room today, you know, for this culturally bankrupt society, you know, to show something that is at least 20 years old on television? You know, I just don't understand.
Yeah, I think it has something to do too with those films back then had a level of intelligence and something, you know, almost a sophistication to them. And I think there's something to be said about, you know, the dumbing. You hear it all the time about the dumbing down of America or whatever. And I think, you know, the shows that come on now have a part of that. I mean, because
Jan says Jonathan Pryce was the guy who was the villain in something Wicked This Way Comes?
Yeah.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you. You muffled down.
Oh, sorry. Jonathan Pryce, I think, is the guy from something Wicked This Way Comes. And do you remember Child of Glass?
Yes, that's true.
From the Disney Channel. They used to play that all the time.
Yeah.
Rich girl thrown down the well. Her spirit's in the doll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Remember that? That was the best.
And Watch Her in the Woods. Watch Her in the Woods. I used to play.
Watch Her in the Woods was creepy. That one scared the hell out of me.
I still can't watch it.
I'm not too big on Watch Her in the Woods. It's cool. It's a creepy film, but it's okay. It's not their best output from that time, which, you know, they were trying to, like I said, they were trying to get into more adult fare. It's still very kiddish. I kind of. That girl's kind of cute. She had a career for like a couple years and then went down the toilet.
Which one?
The main actress in Watch Her in the Woods. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember her name. She was in the James Bond film, the one For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, I haven't seen that in forever.
Well, I'm glad you haven't, because it's probably one of the most boring Bond films in the whole world. There's the first 10 minutes, the pre-credit sequence is really cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just downhill from there. And then everybody talks about how that's the greatest Roger Moore film. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I mean, I'll probably get blasted for this by, you know, the 3 people that are watching this show, but I really, really like Moonraker.
Moonraker?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have I mean, I like them all. I used to watch them all the time. I haven't watched any of the newer ones. I think
I have seen the last 2 that have come out. Casino Royale is pretty okay. I don't know, that Quantum of Solace one wasn't all that good. The problem with, I like Craig. I like this new guy. He's good. But the problem with this new what do you call it? This new motif or the style that they're going for, it's already flawed, because what they wanted to do with Casino Royale was to go back to the Fleming novels, which I've read at least 5 of. And yeah, okay, they wanted to get rid of the whole idea, well, we're going to stop using the titles and then making our own movie. We're just going to actually follow the books, you know, more or less word for word, and, you know, stuff like that, which they sort of kind of did with Casino Royale, although not really, because there's actually action scenes in the movie, whereas in the book there isn't.
Yeah.
But they more or less followed the story. But then they threw that whole concept right out the fucking window with the second one, Quantum of Solace, which is only about, it's a short story with Bond in this party, listening to this guy tell a story. That's all the story is. So now they're going back to it's business as usual in the Bond camp. It's okay, we take the titles and then we're just going to make up our own story. So, all that they said a couple of years ago was, oh, with Craig we're going to go back to the books. That's all of shit,
Yeah.
Not true. Going back on their principles.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's Hollywood, though.
No, that's all I wanted to, what?
That's Hollywood, though. They always mess up a good thing.
Anyway, I don't know. I got nothing else. I'm not going to take up the whole show. I just wanted to bitch about the Disney Channel and how low it sunk.
No. Wait. 3D Movie Man has a question for you, Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, 3D Movie Man. He's in the chat room. So he goes, he wants to know how you got involved with Coming at You.
Yeah, with Tony. Okay, it was about August. It was in August of 2008, yes. And I had been writing in the falls of writing this spaghetti western book, which is still coming along. And I was just getting interviews from all these other actors, Franco Nero. I had Antonio Sabato for some time, but let me tell you something about Antonio Sabato. Just stay away from him. He's fucking crazy. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But
he's coming after you now.
I know he ain't listening to, and nobody gives a shit about him anymore, so it don't matter. But a couple other, actually I had Susan George for a while, and she never called me back, and then she actually called me back recently, so I guess it's up again. So anyway, I was doing this, and then by pure luck, I found this website on the internet about Tony's Get Mean movie, which is a 1976 spaghetti, quote-unquote spaghetti western. It's more like a psychotronic, weird fucking movie. It's Tony goes back in time, a cowboy goes back in time to medieval Spain, and it's absolutely ridiculous, and I recommend it. But anyway, I found this website that was selling the DVDs, and I wondered, well, these fucking people got to know Tony Anthony, most likely, because they had some stuff on there that was really impressive. Like they had an Super 8 camera with a 16 millimeter. It doesn't really matter. They had this footage of behind the scenes of that film, and I was like, oh, these people definitely got to know Tony. So I sent them an email, and sure enough, yeah, they knew Tony, and it turned out that the guy running the site was the producer and the owner of the film, Ron Schneider.
Oh, wow.
Ron's very nice. And it took about a month before I could get Tony on the phone for the interview for my book. And, we did the interview, we hit it off, and he told me all these great things that I can't really talk about. But I can say one thing, which everybody already knows, which is, Coming at You was going to be re-released. And I said, wow, that's really cool. And then I was, at the time I was, 20 or 21. And he liked that about me, and he thought, well, we're trying to sell this movie to your demographic, so if and when we get this money, we're going to go on board with you, and you can do the website and stuff like that. And I said, awesome. So it was just a stroke of luck sort of thing, right place, right time. And that's how I, came to be a part of that.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you did, because you hooked up with me, and now I'm very excited to have Tony Anthony's going to be on the show.
Is your book out yet?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get him on as many of these viral shows as possible. But you guys answered first, so you're gonna get him first. So
Awesome. Paul wants to know how's your book coming along? Is it out yet? What's the progress of that?
Well, I was a bit discouraged to find out that one of my peers actually spat one. Well, I don't want to say spat. I haven't read the book. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's a good book. Spaghetti Western book is coming out in May, but I'm not too worried because I already saw what's going to be in it. So I have a bunch of stuff that nobody else is doing. So is it coming along? Yes, it's coming along, and I never do a New Year's resolution, but I did one this year, and one of those was to finish the book by this year, hopefully.
Nice.
I don't know about getting it published by this year, but certainly finishing it is a definite.
I remember we talked to Jason, we talked to, remember Joseph Madre?
Yeah.
The documentary that I did the music for. He is now writing a book on westerns. I don't know anything.
Yeah, he was talking about that during the interview.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear him at all. What did he say?
Oh, I'm sorry. He said Paul did the score to a horror documentary, and the guy who did the actual documentary is now going back to do one about westerns, and he was just.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and you can actually listen to the interview. We have it on the archive of Zombie Popcorn and on iTunes, where he talks about that. If you're interested in that.
Oh no, absolutely. Anytime a western comes on the scene again, even on direct on the DVD or something, it's always I always try to support it as much as possible. Josh, you're a musician?
What's that?
Is Josh? Well, of course he is. You already said it. But is Josh a musician?
Paul? Oh, Josh is. Both of them are. Paul did the music. Paul's the one that's on.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm sorry, Josh. God damn it. Paul. Are you a musician? He is a musician. You did the score?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. It was just kind of cool. He was in this area before he moved back to LA. He worked at a place called New Dominion Pictures, which was out here in Suffolk, Virginia, as a writer. I did a long internship and worked there right before they closed their doors, doing like special effects for a show called The Haunting that they used to have on the Discovery Channel. And
I remember
a cheesy little show, but was a fun job. And then he came back to town and said, "Hey, I've to other people that knew him that he was looking for someone to do the music, and I hadn't met him yet. And they said, hey, we know this really glum guy that we think might be perfect." And so I just sent him a whole bunch of stuff, and he was really thrilled with it. So I just kept sending him file after file. It was really great because it's called Nightmares in Red, White, and Blue, the evolution of the American horror film. And so you got to start off with, like silent movies, and then go all the way up to, I guess, like 2000 and into Saw and all that. But it was really fun to do, like, the 80s, like, zombie sounds and 70s music, and it was a blast.
I'd love to be a musician like you. Unfortunately, my 5th grade music teacher killed all those aspirations for me.
I think 5th grade music teachers do that.
I dropped out and went to shop class.
Yeah, that's their job. They get bonuses for that.
Yeah, it's
well, I'm gonna let you...
Both of my sisters were in band and chorus, and I was kind of like the one that wasn't supposed to go into it. But yeah, just weird how it works out. Not that I got like a lot of money for it, but I did get to do it, and it was cool to see or to hear your music behind George Romero eyes talking.
Pretty awesome.
Well, whether or not it was your calling, it doesn't matter. You know what to do with. Well, you play guitar, or what is it? You know what to do with that instrument. And you have that. That's a talent. So nobody can take that away from you. It doesn't. Where am I going with this?
Was that?
Hello? Oh.
Well, you know what we should do.
My lungs are talking to myself. No. I think I said it's hard to hear Josh on Skype, and I get like every other word.
Paul.
I heard musician, then George Romero, and something or other, and then also I heard that you weren't even supposed to be in that music class, but you still learned it, and I that's when I more or less kind of melded this conversation in my head together, and I said that it doesn't matter if that's. It doesn't matter if that's if you didn't want to be there or whatever the case. It's just you have that with you now. Either way, and that's always good. Am I making a fool of myself? I don't know what's going on.
No, you're good. You're good. I know it's not the best setup we have for between the phone and the Skype, but I'm trying to do my best to set it so y'all can both hear each other.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's tough to hear. I can more or less hear you, Jason, but God damn it, Paul. Paul, it's and then George A. Romero. I hear one thing. You know?
Yeah. But what you recited back was pretty much on the head of what he said.
Oh, good. Well.
So that's good. But speaking of Paul, we were going to do this later in the program, but since we have it on the topic, we have some music that Paul just recently created because he does some ambient music. He has his 2 bands that you can actually go check out on the About page of Zombie Popcorn. If you want to set up one of the songs, we can take a quick music break, and so everybody can hear that.
Before we do that, let me get off the phone then, so I can actually hear it on the computer. Because otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to hear anything on this phone.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. We'll do that. Thanks for calling, Eric.
Bye.
Bye. All right, go ahead.
Let me see. We can do. Well, this isn't horror themed at all. We can play some 4 stuff. It's like 17 minutes, and I doubt everyone wants to sit around for that long. So we'll play Lilt. I think I sent you one called Just Another Day.
You sure did.
It's the same old stuff. No, actually, I found oh, that's right. You were there when we found that review of the CD, and it's getting pretty good reviews. So I was pretty stoked about that. But this one isn't on the album. It's just some new stuff I'm messing around with, and it's the same kind of sound though of Lilt, which is a lot of sine waves, electric pianos, glitchy, clicky beats moving around, and is always in a minor key and always slightly melancholic because we spent too much time listening to The Cure as a teenager. Yeah, so go ahead and play it.
This is Just Another Day. That was Paul Casper. You can unmute now, Paul.
Yeah.
Let me turn you back down. Awesome. So that was Paul Casper. People in the chat room said that you should definitely do movie soundtracks.
Thank you.
I think they like it.
Cool.
So-
Yeah, it's a little more sci-fi vibe than almost like indie sci-fi. I don't know.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of the song that we're doing the video for. We're actually
Yeah, I sent you a copy of that also. Just because I sent all the other stuff over earlier. It's Stranger in a Strange Land
yeah.
with the robot. Which hopefully that'll come out.
We'll definitely play that later on the program. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about. I mean, I know we talked about it before. We actually did an official interview with you back when we first started Zombie Popcorn. But for the new listeners,
You needed someone.
What's that?
I said because you needed someone to show up.
I was like, I need a sucker. Oh, Paul. No, so kind of give the new listeners a little bit of background about what you do, your bands, and let me show you. He does have, before you go into it, let me do product promotion for you real quick.
Okay.
If you're in the 3D video room, Paul has two CDs out. One with this band Frore, Frore, and I can never get this one right. What is it? Lilt. That's right. Both albums are both out on Dark Duck Records, which you can find links to both of them in the About section of Zombie Popcorn under the Paul Casper section. And if you're in the video room, you're seeing the shameless plug in 3D. In 3D.
There is a third album that's out too that's actually free.
Free?
Yeah. It's on the net label Earth Mantra. I released a free one because no one knew who the hell I was. Did I send you that?
No, because we would have had it on the site if we did.
Well, shit. Let me send it to you. Yeah, this is more of the other stuff I do.
Well, Eric, real quick before you, in the chat room, he said, what website are they on sale? Currently, they're on Dark Duck Records, but you can find the link to those in the About section on zombiepopcorn.com. Once you click on the About section, you'll see mine, Josh's, and Paul's section. Then just click on Paul's, and there's a link in there where you can buy it. Sorry, go ahead.
There, I'm sending you the link now. It's on Earth Mantra. That is a kind of a more like drone ambient, more traditional ambient, not like the stuff we just listened to.
Yeah.
Which falls under like the category of IDM, I guess. Which is just another subgenre of a subgenre of a subgenre.
Well, since we have the Zombie Popcorn store, which you can buy the new Zombie Popcorn T-shirt now, the cheapest price that we possibly can get at the moment. We are not making any profit from it. I just want to get shirts out there. So please go buy a Zombie Popcorn shirt. But since we have the Zombie Popcorn store, we can put this up for free for people to download from there too.
Yeah, there's also under the Lilt section on Dark Duck. There's a free track also.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because who wants to spend money?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Unless you want to buy a Zombie Popcorn T-shirt.
Exactly. For an album.
Buy a Zombie Popcorn T-shirt. And Paul's album. But anyway, shameless promotion.
Go to earthmantra.com and it's release number 108 and you'll get it for free.
Yeah.
A separate album. It's actually all one song.
That must be Jen.
That like clocks in at 56 minutes or something.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's kind of tribal ambient. So.
Well then,
maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I don't know.
If you didn't get the links, I will have a link up hopefully no later tomorrow, where you can actually go directly to and download this track. But I'll have that up, and I guess Jen's back in the room. Hello, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
And she wants her free shirt. It's I haven't ordered the shirts yet. As soon as I get 25 orders in, I will order your shirt as well. We owe her a shirt because she helped Zombie Popcorn a lot when we were going through technical difficulties in the beginning. So I owe her a shirt. And everybody else just buy one, please. What's that?
I said awesome.
And, you know, since we are talking about zombiepopcorn.com, I do appreciate everybody who calls in during the radio show and calls during the week and leaves me messages or that I actually talk to. I love the interaction between everyone. I love how people are getting involved with the show, coming up with ideas for the show, just trying to put their own input in. I love that. But I want to play a voicemail that I got the other day, and I was going to call this kid tonight on the show, but he beat me to the punch and called me last night. Just real quick, I want to play the voicemail because I just think it's awesome. I think it's funny, and this is why I like the show because I just love the community of the website and Zombie Popcorn Radio, and you'll see once you listen to this.
Hey, call me back. I have a question about the game TerrorDrome, and it's really important.
It's really important. I love that. That's one of my favorite voicemails I've gotten so far. But this young kid, he called me. He called me like 3 days in a row, and every time he called, I was just in the middle of something, and I couldn't really answer the phone to give it the attention that it needed. And then he called last night, and I was free, so I talked to him, and he's so excited about the game TerrorDrome. And if you've been a follower of Zombie Popcorn for a while, I've written several posts about this game. Let me give you kind of a background of the game. The game is a fighting game, a fighting game kind of like Tekken or, Mortal Kombat. It's not in the 3D realm as the newer ones are. It's the side fighting game, back and forth, up and down. But the characters are all of our favorite horror movie characters. It's, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, the Scream guy, Chucky, Jason Voorhees, all of the characters. They're actually working on getting the Reanimator and all these other stuff.
That's awesome.
What's that?
I hadn't heard of this. This is really cool.
Well, if you'd read the website. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Too busy typing with the only two fingers I can use.
No, but he's been working on this game for a while now. I think the first time I wrote about it was April of 2007 or 2008. I can't remember. But I don't think he's worrying about the license right now. He's just trying to get a solid game. You can go to his website. It's TerrorDromeTheGame.com and download a free demo of it, and it plays really good. It's actually really awesome. If you can't find it, there's just type in TerrorDrome in the search bar and Zombie Popcorn, and you'll come up to the posts and the videos and the links.
Is it drone or drone?
Drone. DR. And it's actually really awesome. And this kid calls up, and he left me a message. You just heard one of the messages he left me, and he's like, "It's really important. Call me back. It's really important." Every time he would leave, call me back. So he called and I answered, talked to him, and he's like, "Hey, I need to know about this game. Who can you play in this game?" And I listed off the current characters that you can play, and he's like, "So you can play Michael Myers?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Great, thank you. I may call you back." And he hangs up. So yeah, you can do it against Freddy Krueger and everything. Here, I'll pull up real quick and put it in the chat room so everybody can see it. It's an awesome game. I think the concept of it's wonderful. And since this kid called and brought up the question of TerrorDrome again, I'm going to send him an email tomorrow. I just haven't had time with everything else. To the guy who's doing this and have him on the radio show after we have Tony Anthony, of course, and get him to talk about his game, find out when he's expecting to have a release date and stuff, because he's been working on it for a while, and I don't expect... I guess I lost Josh. Welcome back, Josh, or Paul. It's it's going to be really awesome. So, I'm crap. I don't think I can give you a link, can I? Are you there, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got disconnected. I just called you back.
Yeah, I noticed that. But it's
That's cool. I'll just search it later.
no, I'm putting it up. It's Terror. Yeah, they got the cop from Maniac Cop.
Wow.
It's going to be a phenomenal game once it's finished. So as I was telling, I don't know if you heard, but after we finish up, because we have interview with Tony Anthony coming up. I'm in the process. I haven't actually talked to him yet, but Eric has given me the green light that he wants to do it. Is Mike Mallory, director of a documentary, of Eurocrime documentary. So we're gonna have him on the show, and then after that, I'm gonna try to get the guy who's doing TerrorDrome on the show, because it's a phenomenal game. I think it will be a massive hit when it comes out.
That sounds cool.
It's a 2D one-on-one fighting PC game, and I hope it gets picked up. I really do. So.
That's cool. Speaking of what's coming up, we're also going to do a recording of our road trip.
Oh yeah, definitely. We are we're doing a special segment next week on Zombie Popcorn. Paul and I are actually taking a trip to North Carolina to a film. They're doing a film it's called Devil's Crossing, and it's a zombie film. It's a zombie western, actually, since we've been talking about westerns. How funny. But this is a zombie western, and Paul and I are going down there to be zombie extras in the film, and we're going to try to score interviews with people and the director and all that.
If not, we'll just talk to the women at 7-Eleven counter.
Yeah, but we're gonna document with audio our trip, because we're gonna leave at 4 a.m. in the morning or something, and just
one of us has to leave at 3:30 to arrive at the other's house at 4. But
well, you can get here at 3:30. That's fine.
I just feel like being an asshole.
Yeah, whatever. So we're gonna be zombies and a zombie western, and I think it's gonna be awesome.
So thrilled.
Yeah, really excited actually about it, because we're gonna have the audio segment for the next show, but we're also gonna have photos and everything for the blog, so you can actually see it. Yeah, 3D Movie Man was reading on mine when he just said take awesome pictures. We definitely will, and hopefully we can get the director from there to be on the show. I doubt he'll be on the show the next night because he's working on his film, but when he has a free time, we'll work it out. So, I again, because of the community that is getting involved with Zombie Popcorn and Zombie Popcorn Radio, it's awesome of all the stuff that's coming through because of all the listeners and all the people who read the site. It's amazing. No, we'll be in 3D next week as well. With just the segment for me and Paul will be just audio.
Audio, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll just have to watch me and Paul sit here while we listen to it.
Maybe we'll actually, I don't know, bring party favors. And
actually, we won't take off our makeup from the shoot, and we'll just do the episode dressed as zombies still.
Yeah, that's right. Because you'll go to work. So it'll be an all-night drive back. And Saturday, and you'll just keep it on your face.
It's gonna be awesome, actually.
Jan was asking questions like, do they supply wardrobe? Do you gonna bring a change of clothes? You can get your car messy, with fake blood and makeup. It was just like all these questions that a wife would ask.
Gee, you are married.
Yeah, but I was just like, man, I didn't even think about this. All I thought was, fuck yeah, we're going to get dressed up like zombies. What about the way back? And I was like, we'll just keep it on.
We'll keep it on. Come on. There's truck stop showers. Come on. Just two dudes in a truck stop.
That's like the living dead. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a totally different take on everything. I'm like, yeah, we'll drive back with zombie makeup on, and she's more practical, and you know.
I wouldn't say practical. She's a sellout.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a party kill, kind of a party pooper.
Yep.
Jan sends her greetings.
What's that?
I said Jan says hello in her own way.
Yeah, of course. Did she flip us off again?
Probably.
You know, it loses meaning after the 100th time, Jan.
Yeah, whatever.
Awesome. So what else is coming up? That's it.
Oh yeah, 3D Movement. I was just about to talk about that. He's in my skull. Get out of my head. But Michael Jackson tomorrow will be in 3D. During the Grammys, they're doing a special live performance of Michael Jackson in 3D, and you can go to Target, and if you're in the 3D video room, you can actually see the Michael Jackson 3D glasses. What makes these 3D glasses that you can get from free at Target awesome is for all the people who listen to Zombie Popcorn who don't have 3D glasses can go get 4 free pair at Target. Watch Michael Jackson in 3D perform, and then next Saturday watch Zombie Popcorn Radio in 3D. How awesome is that? It's so sweet, Michael Jackson, to think of Zombie Popcorn that way.
Yes. Posthumous million.
I know.
You know that word.
Awesome.
Yeah. I bequeath.
I know, being dead naturally. He's done so much for Zombie Popcorn Radio.
He really has. We should do a year in review. And oh no, I probably already did. You should just thank Michael Jackson for doing so much.
Well, I just did, didn't I?
Yeah. So never mind.
We're good.
I'm just filling what is going to be dead air because I have nothing to say.
I want to know if anybody in the chat room or anybody listening who wants to call in to answer the question. The new Michael Jackson DVD that's going to come out in Blu-ray, is there 3D footage on that? Because there was rumors that when the movie came out to theaters that there was going to be a 3D segment in the theatrical release of it, but there wasn't. So is that going to be on the Blu-ray? Has anybody heard? Because I cannot find answers for this. I imagine that since I can't find answers, there's not 3D in it, but I'm just really, really confused. Because I don't know. Nobody knows. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking since nobody knows that there's not going to be 3D content in there because there's enough 3D nerds like us out there that we would know.
Right. If you don't know and 3D Movie Man doesn't know, something is afoot.
There's something wrong. But yeah.
It's too quiet.
It's too quiet. They're up to something. But yeah. So you were talking about Bollywood horror films earlier.
Yeah, I haven't seen any, but I want to. There's a company called Mondo Macabre.
Yeah.
It puts out just a lot of bizarre, international crazy cinema, I guess is the best word for it. And they put out a collection of, I think there's 3 volumes now, of Bollywood horror movies. And I really wanted to get the first one. I just love the cover in itself. Because it shows a vampire shunning, but instead of from the usual cross, it's the Om symbol. And,
nice.
And they're still like a Bollywood movie, so they go out, they kill the vampires, and then they go to a discotheque and dance and do a song, which is just awesome.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. I love indie movies because they want to cram everything they can into their time. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be ordering that sometime soon. It depends on if we get anything back from our taxes this year. We have to pay like we did last year.
Really?
Yeah.
As we were... I'm looking to see if I can find a good trailer from that because I don't see one.
Yeah, that company's got a lot of interesting stuff. I think they've got some Pakistani zombie movies and just really bizarre things. Midget spy movies. Really weird stuff.
Speaking of midget spy movies, have you watched the best dancer ever that's on the front of Zombie Popcorn?
No.
You have to watch it. If you're in the chat room, anybody listening, go to Zombie Popcorn. Click on the video that's on the front page. It's called The Best Dancer in the World. You will enjoy it for sure.
I did watch it.
It's awesome. I mean, it's not as good as the Turkish Star Wars, but it's still pretty awesome.
But what is?
It is pretty crazy.
I love when the guy's split in half.
And nobody knows what we're saying.
Yeah. So in the Turkish Star Wars, you're right. It's not worth going into.
No, it really is. Come on.
All right, yeah. So they did we talk about the Turkish Star Wars? Were we on the air when we were talking?
No, I think we were just shooting the shit.
Okay. Basically, you were telling me because I had never seen it, that relations between Turkey and America, of course, have never been that great, and they really weren't great during, I guess, the 80s and 70s, which is, I guess, when Turkish Star Wars was made, and they would just cut in scenes from Star Wars. They'd write a completely different story and just use the action scenes for their scenes, and then they would cut in some really inferior dialogue and makeup and costume things in between, and they show this one guy getting split in half, and so when they show his body, all they've done is shade one half of the screen. Half of the screen is black, and the other half just shows picture, but you can still see that he's not split in half.
Yeah, because this camera bounces and you see the other half is. But, not to jump subject again, but Jen has come to the rescue again. She says, she's in the chat room. If you want to join the chat room, just go to Zombie Popcorn and click on chat. But anyway, where is her post? Oh yeah, she just read something on Amazon about the Michael Jackson movie. She said that somebody wrote a review that said, I really like Thriller 3D part. It was a 3D video shoot after you see MJ coming on stage from a spider. So apparently there's something to do with 3D Thriller in 3D.
That's cool.
Which, if you're going to do a 3D part of Michael Jackson Thriller, should be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was huge in 3D. He had his own 3D camera that he did a lot of behind the scenes stuff with. He was almost pretty much, you could push the limits and actually call him, he was a pioneer for trying to push 3D, because that's what he wanted to do, Captain EO in 3D, and so that's why they did it. And he was just always into it. I think if he was alive now in the heyday of 3D, we would see probably 10,000 times more 3D stuff with him. Yeah, Eric just said he remembers reading somewhere that he would take a 3D camera with him on trips, and that's, I mean, from what I've read and heard as well, it's true. He was a 3D nerd just like us. Yes. I mean, I don't know if he would watch the part. It's probably inappropriate to say, but I don't know if he would watch the part in Coming at You when they drop the baby down in front of the. Anyways, you have to see the movie to understand. Anyway,
I was scanning through and watching the end of that DVD, and I loved all the cuts at the end with like the yo-yo and the cars.
Yeah, the end is like, if you don't want to watch the movie but you want all the 3D effects, you just go to the end.
Yeah. But you should watch the whole movie.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, we were going to talk about Avatar, and I don't have a clue what we were going to talk about it for. It became the #1 movie of all time now.
Yeah, I read another article that figured it out, but they adjusted for inflation and price changes throughout the years.
Yeah.
And it came in number 19 if you adjust it that way.
Well, that's all right. It's not that good of a movie anyway.
Yeah. Number 1, if you go that way, is still Gone with the Wind, which apparently only opened up in like 136 theaters. So
Really?
either it played forever and ran 24 hours a day, and people came from all over to see it, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. But it is the highest grossing so far. So
Yeah, which is funny because everybody, well, Disney is saying. Have we talked about this? I don't know. I feel like we talked about this. But Disney is saying that Alice in Wonderland is going to blow Avatar out of the water.
Right.
Which I don't see it. I think if there's any movie that's going to give Avatar a run for his money, is going to be Tron 3D.
See, I think it would be the other way around.
You think Avatar is going to give Tron? Right? No, just kidding.
No, I do think that Alice in Wonderland might be pretty crazy in 3D and give it a run for its money. Just because from the stills that I've seen, it's so psychedelic looking. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just intense looking. All
But the difference
colors.
between Avatar and Tron is Alice in Wonderland is a conversion. It's not even shot
it
in
is,
true
but it-
3D. So, I don't know. We just have to wait and see.
So they're just cashing in.
I mean, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, every film that's come out in 3D has blown away its 2D counterpart.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I think even a movie as bad as Halloween 2 would have done better in 3D.
Yeah, that movie wasn't so great. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't that great.
Yeah. No.
It was pretty violent, though.
No, it was definitely brutal. It was definitely straight up brute force type of movie, but I don't know. I like the first one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the first Halloween, but then I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate Halloween 2. I just didn't walk out of there with a feeling that like I should have after watching a good horror film.
Right.
I just felt kind of vacant.
Right. Speaking of that, movies, anyway, Jan and I went and saw Book of Eli.
Oh, how's that?
It was pretty good. What I really liked about it was the openness and all the scenes. You watch so many. Not that I would call it a horror movie. I guess it's more, I don't know, thriller, sci-fi. Even sci-fi seems, it's a post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, everything in that style of movie and horror movies that we watch so much of is really claustrophobic, and there's just tons of shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And same thing, I love reading horror magazines, but the ads drive me crazy because everything is like a full page, it looks like some heavy metal t-shirt with way too much of it. Yeah. And this movie had a sense of space to it. There was a lot of empty space, which I really liked. Everything was out in the open, and it just had a really wide open feel to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, but I think some of the music really sounded like Sigur Rós did some stuff. It was the bowed guitar, but I mean, it was like the same Sigur Rós typical melodies, and it worked really well with this just like vast empty landscapes. All I wanted to do was go home and play ambient music. I was like, oh, I gotta go home, and I got this synth patch that would work, So yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Am I on, Jason?
Yeah, you're on. I was just letting Paul finish. We just got a call on the hotline.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt Paul, yeah.
No, you're good. I'm done.
Oh well, there you are then. Yeah, I saw. I saw the Book of Eli. I think last week. I went to the theater, and I paid for one movie. I ended up watching 3 movies. I went early in the afternoon, which is something I kind of like to do most of the time. But Jesus Christ, the Book of Eli Wallach, right? The Book of Eli. It's to me what it looked like was a western disguised as a post-apocalyptic movie.
That's actually, yeah, I can see what you're saying with that.
What it reminds me of, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the trailers and the promotional stuff, is the game Fallout 3. Because I played a lot of that, and the scenery looks almost identical to all that.
Yeah, I liked that it wasn't the usual, I mean, I love cyberpunk stuff, but it wasn't the usual, like, cyberpunk post-apocalyptic thing. And the story was kind of slow, but never boring. You're just kind of watching things unfold, and it's, it's not like straight up action throughout the whole thing, but you don't actually mind watching these scenes of, the main character just kind of walking. It was really interesting.
Yeah. You still there, Eric?
Relaxing.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
All right.
I can actually hear the both of you pretty clearly now.
Oh, that's good. I adjusted some things.
It had I said it was a western disguised as a post-apocalyptic movie, and it also had a mixture of other genres. You had the samurai portion, and towards the beginning where he fights those guys under the tower, under the bridge, and it's just silhouette. And it had post-apocalyptic and everything. I think anything after the Gatling gun scene, you could probably just walk out of, because I think the film kind of goes downhill from there. But that's during the gunfight, and well, I don't know if I'm giving anything away, but Josh Paul would know. It's the big machine gun moment in the house.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I after that, it kind of changed terrain. They're in San Francisco, and I just kind of sort of dropped out of interest at that point. And then the ending was a little bit unclear, and I think I know what happens at the end. I'm not going to give it away, but there's something that happens at the end where, oh, really, he was the whole time. I don't want to say the word because then that would give the movie away, but it wasn't very clear to me because they use CGI in his eyes to make it misty.
Right. Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the deal was the whole time either, and I'm still not sure.
Yeah. It wasn't clear to me whether he had that problem or not, And I was like, well, hold on a second, because the way they would do that in the old days is make him wear contacts,
Yeah.
And it would have been clear at that point. But I just wasn't very sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm getting off that topic because we're getting dangerously close to giving the whole thing away. So.
Yeah, I mean, there were parts of it that were pretty ambiguous, but matter of fact, me and Jan were discussing it. We weren't sure what the deal was at the end, but I'd still recommend checking it out. It looks beautiful. The look of it is great, and the scenery is great. And I mean, I didn't mind the parts after the big shootout at the end, but I guess I kind of know what you're saying. I mean, because they go somewhere else, and the scenery changes, and the pacing and everything kind of changes. But I'd still definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it takes at that point after the house, like I said, the scenery changes, and also the tone of the film changes. They take the preachy aspect of the film, which didn't bother me up until that point. It got way over the top by that point in time, where it was just really like reaching out there. Not that preachiness really ever bothers me, but it was. I thought it went too far, and I thought it just kind of muddled the movie a little bit. And there was no really. I mean, I guess you could say it was psychological, the proper comeuppance for the bad guy, Gary Oldman. But you kind of want to see that guy die,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It sounds great. So, but do you agree with Eric, Paul, that pretty much after the Gatling gun scene, it kind of goes downhill from there? Or did you?
No, I don't think it goes downhill, but it does change. The tone changes a bit. But yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me. So I guess I say no.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I really think about it, I can kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any problems. There's a whole situation at the end that's kind of ambiguous and vague, and I know what he's talking about there. That kind of puzzled me. And if you watch it, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Or you know what we're talking about. But yeah, it's definitely.
I don't think it was meant to be ambiguous. I think it was supposed to be. Oh, really? The whole time he was, but it's not really clear. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
At least I think it was just a mistake. Really, they tried to make it clear, and then it's not.
Yeah.
Again, the use of CGI totally screwed that whole bit up because it's like his eyes are misty. Like, well, okay, what's all that about? You know. Anyway, yeah. Again, not making any sense to anybody else, but hopefully not. Otherwise, you'd guess what happens. But you know, so I guess we could stop that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Legion, which was a big piece of turd.
You didn't like it?
That movie was sold to me months ago because I was like, wow, old ladies crawling all over the wall and a spider, an ice cream guy who turns into a spider, for sure I'm going to be at the theater. And those moments were in the first 25 minutes of the film. And the film has a problem with, like many action films do today, which is when the action scenes start to happen, you don't see anything. There's no choreography to speak of at all. It's just a shaky camera moving around everywhere, and you just kind of see hands flailing around, and you don't really see much of anything. And it's really, like, I'm so sick and tired of seeing that, you know.
Yeah. You can thank the YouTube generation for that.
No, well, I know I can. I don't know how people stand it. You know, I look at all these wonderful kung fu films from the 70s, particularly the Shaw Brothers films, which, you know, it doesn't have that hard edge that a fight scene should have, which, like, there's a film called Darker Than Amber, which apparently the big story behind that film is that the big fight in the movie is a real fight, and that the blood you see on the actors' faces is real blood, and it's not too surprising. They crash all over the place in that room that they're in. They smash into mirrors and things. It's really brutal. In fact, I think you can find that fight on YouTube somewhere. Just type in Darker Than Amber. But the Kung Fu films, they had, you know, beautifully choreographed fights where they would just, like, you know, close in on the weapon that they were using and then zoom out really rapidly and just have those guys going at it for, you know, in this wonderful ballet of violence, you know, for at least 20 seconds before they cut to another shot. Why can't we have something like that anymore, or the modern equivalent to it? You know, it's really sad. You know, people. I guess actors are lazy, or they don't know how to handle themselves. It's either that they're lazy and they don't want to do it, so they just have to compensate with the camera moving and jittering around everywhere, so you don't see anything.
Well, I think there's two things. One, 3D Movie Man in the chat room says that Legion just is really bad CGI in the first place. Two, I think 3D movies will save us from the jittery camera scenario stuff, the disease, whatever you want to call it, that we got going on now, because for good 3D to work, you can't have that YouTube type unsteady camera going. You actually have to show the scene as it should be done and the artistic value of it. And
yeah, well, try telling these hacks that, because they probably don't even know that. I guarantee you an action movie in 3D is going to come out and there'll be action scenes just like that, and you know, it's going to be a big jumbled mess. People are going to be vomiting all over the auditorium.
Avatar was a pretty good action film. They had a good action battle scene in there, and I think it was done very tastefully. I think it actually sucked you in, had the in your face stuff, as well as the battle that would just, you know, draw you in, where you were you know, into it, where you enjoy it.
Well, you can't expect less from James Cameron.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it can be done.
Yeah.
So I hopefully, you know, 3D will pull us out of that.
I love that you touted as the new Messiah.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
He said he loves how I tout it as the new Messiah 3D.
I didn't hear a word. What's the new Messiah? Oh, 3D is the new Messiah.
Yeah.
I also love the phrase "wonderful ballet of violence."
Yeah, that is pretty nice that he said.
That was nice.
Well, they are. The Kung Fu films, check out, particular. Well, the one I was thinking of was the 8-pole, God damn it, the 8-diagram pole fighter with, who the hell is in that? I know it's somebody very, very famous, or at least in that realm. Well, anyway, I don't even remember. And I'm thinking like the one-armed swordsman and things like that. Beautiful fight scene, you know, and you could see everything. And I guess now today, you know, like I said, they don't have the edge of, you know, something like Darker Than Amber or the fight scene from Russia with Love, because it's basically two fancy guys with weapons kind of dancing around everywhere. But it's still wonderful to watch, you know. It's a shame that stuff like that doesn't exist anymore. And it kind of never did exist in America. America was always about, you know, the Darker Than Amber type fighting. And whereas back east, you had people kind of, you know, actually sitting down and doing choreography and spending all that time. And who knows how many days filming particularly the big fight scene in 8-diagram pole fighter at the end. But you know, yeah. Again, I'm going in circles here. Yeah, we don't see that anymore now, and it's truly a shame. And I know we were talking about Legion, right? Yeah, Legion has that scene with Michael and Gabriel fighting each other in the diner, and you know, you don't see a goddamn thing. Just that camera, you know, Jason Bourne stuff moving around everywhere. I really don't enjoy that.
That's no fun. We've seen it in 100 movies. It's time to move on. And you know what? You may get your wish, but it won't be in 3D. But the new remake of Karate Kid. I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on, give me a break now.
I was just kidding.
Jackie Chan is one of the greatest kung fu masters. So yeah, that's gonna be awful.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh God. I don't even actually want to go there. What's that?
Is that Will Smith's kid?
Yeah, and Will Smith's doing the soundtrack.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh no, I think he quit rap a long time ago, didn't he? Or is he back on?
No, he's doing the soundtrack for this movie. Because even on the trailer, if you listen to it, that's him singing.
Nice.
Oh, because I remember reading when I first heard about it, they were doing the Karate Kid remake a couple months ago. I was like, oh really? And then somebody said, damn Will Smith, damn him to hell. And I'm like, what? Is Will Smith playing Mr. Miyagi? Is this going to make any sense? And then it's Jackie Chan playing Mr. Miyagi. And then there's the kid that he's training, his last name is Smith. So I said, what? Did Will Smith spawn this child? I don't know what's going on here.
Specifically
just for the movie, he had the kid just so they could do the Karate Kid remake.
It's been in pre-production for like 10 years.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I guess you gotta start your kid out young if you want to make money off of them. So.
And put him in Jackie Chan movies, just not the Spy Next Door movie or something like that.
Well, at least Spy Kids 3 was in 3D. Come on.
Oh man, did anybody see that in the theater? Oh god.
I own it in 3 different formats.
Oh my god, only you would, because I remember going to the theater to go see that, and you know, it was anaglyph, so already that was a big warning sign. And I sat there and I'm like looking at it's a cut up into segments. Whenever Salma Hayek tits come into frame, that's when you're supposed to put on the 3D glasses or something like that. And you know, I was looking at brown mush on the screen. You know, that was a problem.
I think 3D Movie Man disagrees with it. He says it's a great movie, and I have it in Cincio and in Phil Shutterlands, and I think the 3D is really good. Even in the anaglyph.
That would be the best way to see it.
Huh?
That would be the best way to see it with the shutter lenses.
Oh, definitely. When
I was in the cinema, those glasses were just awful. I just, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're an old, dying technology. You know, we're moving on to bigger, better things now.
Yeah. So. Yeah, definitely. And speaking of which, yeah, nobody buy the Rhino DVD anymore. Stop giving them money. You know.
For coming at you. I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, some of that money is going to Tony, but even Tony was so pissed off with what they did to that thing. You know, the film was not.
Save it for the interview. Save it for the interview.
Yeah. I'll shut my mouth. But I guess I have to get I'm gonna get this 3D converter thing soon. The $100 one from this this guy's very nice from Underground 3D Movies. I think is the name of the website. I don't know if you guys.
The Razer 3D.
Say that again.
The Razer 3D. The 2D 3D converter boxes do not work. They're horrible. I hate them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to research it again because there's this guy in Canada who showed a polarized version of Coming At You. I think it's in its original format. The two camera. Actually, no, my mistake. See, the more I talk, the more I make myself look like a fool. He was showing it without permission, and I had to go contact him to, cease and desist sort of thing. But he turned out to be really nice, and none of it was for profit anyway. So we fixed it. Well, what the fuck? Who cares?
Yeah. Send me the link.
And he told me what?
So when you find out what it is, send me the link, and I'll give you my review of it.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna bore you with the whole story. Anyway,
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll definitely. Well, there's not much to tell really. It's just this guy named Reg Hart in Canada, who's a very nice guy. He owns a theater, a 3D theater, and he shows movies from time to time. And he says, "Coming At You." He's a big 3D aficionado, and he says, "Coming At You is one of my favorite movies. And if you ever come down here, you could see it in the proper way it was supposed to be seen." And I said, "Oh, well, thank you very much." And he told me that you should get a 3D converter, the box converters or whatever they call them. And there's this guy called 3D Underground Movies or Underground 3D Movies, and he's got all the 3D movies that you could possibly think of, even films that were never in 3D. Like he's got I'm gonna put a plug on your site now because the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, apparently he's got a copy of it in 3D. It was converted. Yeah. And apparently it's really good.
Because I know I have 3 different converters from 3 different companies, and none of them I've been impressed with. Sure, you get 3D, but you only get depth 3D. You get it where the picture, it seems flat, and then you can reach your arm into the screen. You don't get the good.
Out at you.
What's that?
Are you saying you don't get it like coming out at you? You get.
Yeah, you get the depth. You get.
Right.
Like you could reach into a box.
Well, 3D Movie Man could probably answer that for us because he's got what apparently is a good copy of Coming At You with shutter glasses. I mean, how does the constant barrage of crap being thrown at your face look on your television screen?
For Coming At You in Shutter Lens?
Yeah.
I don't have a copy of it in Shutter. 3D Movie Man may.
3D Movie Man does, but crap was the wrong word for it. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. He said it looks cool. He just said it looks cool. And I'm sure it looks better because there are a lot of bootlegs that you could get for a while. I'm not gonna say where, but you could get them for a while, and they just took old 3D movies, no matter what format they were in, whether they're anaglyph or polarized or whatever, and converted them into shutter lens, which does enhance the movie, but it's still not the best 3D that you can get because they're they're burned bootleg copies of them.
It's not the virtual dome.
Yeah.
But back to, I'm going to finish my review of Legion.
Sorry.
And I'll leave you guys alone. Legion, like I said, all the cool stuff about the trailer, which seems to be happening all the time with every other movie that comes out today. All the cool stuff is in the trailer.
See, I hate that.
The spider, the ice cream parlor, the ice cream truck guy turning into a spider, the old lady crawling all over the place. That happened in the first 25 minutes, folks. And then after that, you got nothing. You got, awful fight scenes that you can't even see. There's one creepy moment with a zombie I won't get into, but that's about all, really. And then the ending is the biggest, Deus Ex Machina that, a literal one, because, God is obviously a character in the film. Well, I guess I could tell you because, nobody should go watch this anyway. If you know the story, if you know the story, God is just so pissed off at humans that he says, you know what, fuck these people, and I'm going to send my angels to kill everybody. That's the plot. And at the end of the movie, he just changes his mind because I guess God is that fickle, and he lets everybody live for some reason. You don't really quite understand why. But I will say one positive aspect, that guy who plays the main guy, he's a really good action hero, I think. Even though you don't get to see him do anything because the fight scenes, again, shaky Jason Bourne camera, but I really like his persona. I don't know his name, I'm not familiar with him. He's English. He's the main guy, so you could look him up on IMDb.
Yeah.
Get that guy more work, because I really liked him. He had some good charisma.
Did you just say Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
No.
No, hell no, not Hugh Grant, Jesus. No, not Hugh Grant. I don't know. I don't know the guy's name. You can look him up in 5 seconds, and it's probably the first guy that's top billed on IMDb.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Michael.
Paul's just really into Hugh Grant right now because after the radio show, he's gonna go watch a Hugh Grant movie.
Oh, what? Which one? Oh, is it the one in theaters right now? The one about they go on a resort with Sarah Jessica Parker who looks like a horse?
No, I think it's Sandra Bullock, and I think it's on like TBS tonight or something. 2 weeks notice. He's so fucking charming.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Paul Bentley, Jen from the chat room says that.
With you, right?
What's that?
Paul's just saying that because his wife is there with him in the room, and she likes Hugh Grant.
No, it's the other way around.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just.
He's just so fucking charming.
Paul's cutting out on me.
Well, I got nothing. Like I said, Legion. What else? I don't know. That's all I pretty much got.
Well, Jen in the chat room says that the actor's name is Paul Bentley.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah. I thought he was really good in it, despite the fact that you don't see him really beat anybody up because you can't.
Yeah.
But I like his charisma. I like his persona. He's hopefully we see him in more action movies, although I doubt it, because I don't think that film's going to do very well.
All right. I don't know. 3D Movement says that the Zombieland DVD comes out on Tuesday, which is very exciting because that was a fun movie.
That was a great movie. It would have been better if it had more zombie killing.
And in 3D.
But
yeah, there is that moment in the not a moment, but the whole second act is pretty much zombieless, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
But it is fun to watch.
It is good. It's a road trip movie for zombie lovers, and that's what makes it good.
Yeah.
No, I have no problem with that movie at all. Even the gunfights were okay in that.
Yeah.
I like the scene where oh my god, I'm forgetting everybody's name today, and I really like this guy. He lost the guy who plays Sarasota or some Florida town somewhere.
Yeah.
No, help me out. I'm looking like an asshole.
No, I'm drawing a blank too. So.
I knew you were talking about
totally drawing a blank.
It's all right. It's all the drugs we do on this show. I'm just kidding.
Clearly must be. These 3D glasses are fucking up my brain. I don't know. But I like the scene where he cages himself up on that prize little kiosk, and he shoots all the zombies. I don't know if you remember any of that.
Yeah.
Climax or oh man, how could I forget this guy's name? This is awful.
Dude, we know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, thank God. No, the damage is already done. I don't know his name. Neither do you. We all look pretty bad.
Yeah, we'll look bad. It happens a lot on the show.
Woody Harrelson. Jeez.
Yeah, Woody.
Oh, that guy. I thought you meant the kid.
That guy? No, fuck that kid. That kid's like a poor man's. What's that kid? Oh my God, now I'm forgetting the other guy's name too.
But 3D Movement says number 2 is going to be in 3.
Michael Cera is what that kid is. I don't care anything about that kid.
And that's why I was wondering why you were talking about. I was like, wow, this is.
That's who I thought he was talking about was a kid too.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
He's really good in everything I see him in.
He is good.
I think he was born to play that part.
He really was actually.
Yeah. Tallahassee is the name. I said he was named after some Florida town somewhere.
Tallahassee.
Yeah. I think.
No, he was, yeah.
Yeah, Tallahassee.
And then the other guy was Columbus, Ohio.
Right. Hey, actually, that kid, whatever his name is, he's been in 2 movies with land at the end. Did anybody notice that?
No, I haven't.
Does anybody have less of a life than I do that nobody has noticed?
Was he in that one where he worked at the theme park?
Yeah, Adventureland. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an okay movie. The only thing, me and my wife were talking about this the other night. It seems like all of the new young Hollywood actors only have one note. Like they're this one character over and over again.
Yeah.
Like that guy that's in that movie Youth and Revolt, and he was in Juno, and he's always just like, "Hi, I'm kind of an indie, nerdy, geeky guy that's sensitive."
I was talking about him just now, Michael Cera. That the kid from Zombieland is a poor man's Michael Cera, and Michael Cera sucks. I mean, I'm tired of these fucking kids. Tired of them.
It's like the same guy over and over again. The only one I think who can always play the same character over and over again that I always like is John Cusack. Other than that,
right.
And Hugh Grant, of course.
Well, Hugh Grant.
Of course, he's fucking charming.
Yeah.
Of course.
But if I had to pick between Hugh Grant and John Cusack, I don't know.
You just made my wife say what?
Yeah. I mean, Cusack's got street cred. He was in Better Off Dead, damn it. Yeah. He'll show up at your house with a boombox and a trench coat on and play your favorite songs for you.
So will zombies. But they won't play your favorite song though.
Yeah.
They'll just show up at your house.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, you want to hang out? I want to eat your brains.
It's just 2 dudes eating brains, man.
Well, we're finally approaching to the 9 o'clock. I want to remind everybody, please, if you have the cash, go buy a Zombie Popcorn t-shirt. And the Zombie Popcorn store. No, but seriously, the reason I bring up the store is because I'm going to put Paul's music, these free downloads on there so everybody can go there and download the free music.
Up, the Zombie Popcorn Orchestra.
What's that?
The Zombie Popcorn Orchestra.
You want me to play it?
No, I was thinking of putting those things up for.
Oh, we can do that too. Yeah, totally.
We'll do that. Use it to play us out, and don't forget, folks, Tony Anthony, 3D, and Spaghetti Western God on the show February 13th, Saturday. Don't miss it, 7 to 9. And I'm out. Bye.
Very nice. Thank you, Eric.
Have a good night, Eric.
And speaking of Tony Anthony being on the show on February 13th, if you want to just kind of get a sneak peek of what the interview is going to consist of, go check out Coming At You 3D. Nor 3. What's the website? Hold on. I always get it backwards, so I need to pull it up. It's getting late.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have them on the show, sure. Yeah, coming without the G at nor NOIR 3D.com. So coming at you nor 3D.com. That's if you
like film noir.
Yep. Just like it. So definitely check that out. And what were we saying? Oh yeah, and the next couple days, hopefully I'll have it up tomorrow because it's probably gonna be another. I'll fix the link. Sorry. We'll have Paul's music up there so you can do free downloads, and as always, his links are in his profile. So if you want to go buy the full album, and for $20, you can own your own Zombie Popcorn T-shirt. And it is now 9 o'clock. And you've been listening to Zombie Popcorn Radio or watching it in 3D. I think.
What's wrong with you?
What?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Nothing. I was just being a smartass.
What'd you say, man?
You've been listening to Zombie Popcorn Radio. What the hell is wrong with you?
That is true. That is true. What the fuck? But definitely thank you for everybody who's been listening. Next week we'll have a special episode with me and Paul, just 2 dudes dressed as zombies in the middle of a country scene. Zombie Popcorn Radio. Have a great night.
Good night.